So, welcome to the new year, where we all make New Year's resolutions and lie to ourselves about being successful. Because if you think about it, if you start to do things that you think you're going to be successful at, that you failed at last year, and you don't have a better plan or a better way to be successful or achieve the results you're looking for, you're lying to yourself probably about whether or not you're going to be able to be successful. All right, so that's just a starting point for lying. So Happy New Year! Uh, Happy lying to yourself 2023. But I think that this idea of trust and lying is so, it's just a funny thing because I'm like how would I call myself? I'm like probably on the border of brutal honesty. I tend to say things that are very like specific and direct. I, in my younger years, would say those things without filtering them or thinking about them, either both what I was saying or the impact on another person. Because I thought it was all about just being honest. And then I've met a lot of people in my life, because opposites attract, who tend to be the opposite, very guarded, not very self-revealing, more liars of omission. They kind of tend to think that if you don't ask, they don't have to tell. And so we all deal with varying degrees of honesty, or what it means to be honest or a liar, probably depending on both the way we were raised around honesty as a value, and also just your basic limiting beliefs about the world, how the world is treating you, what it means when someone lies to you. And so if I was deceived or lied to when I was younger, I took that personally. It was almost as if like the dishonesty of another person was somehow falling on me because I had been too weak or unaware to see that they had blatantly lied to me. It was almost like a gullibility that I was embarrassed about. And yet, that was the truth of who I was. I kind of tended to float through the world like, oh, everybody's being honest just like me. No one would ever hurt anybody. And I still like to believe that, as Pollyanna-ish as it sounds. And I've also lived reality for a couple of 24s. And the reality is that people are dishonest in so many ways, and it's so perfectly human. I mean, I don't really have to judge your dishonesty if I don't have to hold you in blame, or I don't have to, what is the word? Revenge myself upon you for being dishonest. So if I walk into something and I can see, like a new relationship, let's just say, and I can see indications of both how someone is dishonest with themselves, delusional, insane, odd, weird, how their dishonesty, or maybe the way that they treat honesty and the values of honesty different than me, and then they end up lying to me, I should not be surprised. So I think the blame and the responsibility lies on me to be aware of other people. Now, there are some master manipulators in the world who are really good at lying, and even the best of us are not going to see them coming. But I do, again, because I tend to think the world is a good place, I do tend to think those master manipulators are not the norm. They're the exception. And so most of us are lying to ourselves. Most of us are lying on our taxes. Most of us are lying in our lives in the sense that, for example, like, oh, I uphold these values in the world, but then I'm cheating on those values in some small part of my little domain, my neighborhood, my family, whatever it is. I want to uphold values that are important for me. And I say they're important for me, and I'm judging you for not upholding those same values, but in fact, I'm violating my own values. And so all these different forms of like lack of honesty create an atmosphere where we don't trust ourselves, and then it's hard to know who out there is trustworthy. I mean, in effect, like, it's yin yang, like I can't know what's trustworthy or not out of you if I don't feel a sense of what's trustworthy within me. And also acceptance of my own seemingly innate desire to lie to myself, right? Because I think that what happens is that if I lie to myself, it keeps me safe. It keeps me feeling like, well, I'm not really responsible for changing. Well, really, you hurt me. Well, you're not trustworthy. Or, the favorite new age word, like, well, she was just a narcissist. And, now I can just hold you responsible because obviously everybody knows that narcissists are evil and capable of really bad and selfish behavior. So I can turn around and say, well, I just need to get away from that person. But are you looking at the delusion that was right in your face when you got involved with that person? That's the question. That's the lie. That's the thing that for me always keeps me stuck and incapable of seeing the untrustworthy person coming. And it keeps me in this delusion that, like, oh, there are these untrustworthy people in the world who are going to hurt me. Not sure about that. And I think that, like, what it fundamentally comes down to is how aware am I at my own level? How aware am I of my own level of delusion, dishonesty, and untrustworthiness? And if and when I become aware of those loopholes in my own conscience of trustworthiness, I tend to attract people who are a little more honest. And I also can let go of people's little lies, both that they tell themselves and tell me, because I think we're all hiding something. It's just fear, right? Fear of the unknown, fear of being found out, fear of being afraid, whatever it is. And I usually can see that more compassionately as a cause for dishonesty, is just the fear. So hopefully that was helpful in helping you learn how to trust yourself and other people today. Thanks for joining me. Have a great day.